Great leaders can inspire us and bring out the best in us, but unfortunately most of us don't have access to such a leader on a daily basis. That's why it's so important to become a self-leader, because fortunately you will never be without you. So let's get into what that looks like and what that means specifically. Just a little disclaimer, I think I'm coming up with a flu today, so I get out of breath very easily. So I'm just putting it out there as a warning because I don't know what my voice will be like by the end of this episode. But let's get going. Growing up, I always had this intense longing for a strong mentor or leader in my life who will show me the way and who I would respect and maybe fear enough that I would be willing to do everything I need to do in order to become great. Almost like having a strict sensei that teaches you all the truths about life and the mind and the body. I guess that's why I respect and admire martial arts so much, because of all the focus and discipline it takes and the years of painful training to become really great. Over time I've learned that we can piece that together for ourselves by reading wonderful books, by looking at the people around us and learning from them, and also looking at extraordinary people all around the globe. But one thing that I've learned that is crucial to our success and that no one else can give us is self-leadership. This applies to everything in life, whether it's regarding your job, your business, your hobbies, your relationships, your personal goals, and all your aspirations that you have in life. If you know me by now, you know that I like to give myself as much power as possible and leave as little as possible to outside forces. And that's why these 5 principles of self-leadership are so important to me. They are vital for me to stay on track and to be the best version that I can be. And of course, I want to share those with you. My first principle is self-accountability. This means doing what you said you were going to do, even when no one is watching, and more importantly, even if no one cares. My husband and I had this conversation last week when I failed to upload my yoga video before midnight on Thursday. So I had a very long week filled with long hours of work, and because of that I didn't record and I didn't upload my video in time. So I wasn't very happy with myself. But my hubby said to me, you know, I'm sure no one's going to hold it against you if you upload a little late. And I know that. I know no one cares if I only upload on Friday. And to be honest, I'm sure no one even noticed. But I care and I hold myself accountable, because I know if I get comfortable with dropping the ball, that's the benchmark that I will set for my behavior in the future. Like my wonderful father-in-law always says, if you accept a standard, you set a standard. Doing what you say you were going to do, even if no one's watching and even if no one cares, is super important. This sets the foundation for the standard you hold yourself to, and this will influence how fast you reach your goals, the confidence you have in yourself, your integrity, and also how you do everything else in life. Remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything, and how you do everything determines the quality of your life. This doesn't mean that you cannot change your strategies over time, or that you cannot reconsider your commitments if you see that it is having an impact on your life in a negative way, or when your priorities change. Just be honest with yourself. If you have bitten off more than you can chew, stop pouring salt into the wound by continuously trying to bullshit yourself into believing that you are still going to do it. Rather commit to less and be religious about sticking to it. It's like Tom Yu said in one of his episodes, stop hitting the snooze button. Rather be honest with yourself that you are not going to get up earlier, and set your alarm for the time where you really need to get up, because at least you'll get some extra decent sleep and you won't be disappointed in yourself. Second principle. Believe in your vision even if those around you can't see the full picture. I've experienced the pain of people not being as excited about my vision as I am, whether that is around some silly insight or plan, or around something really big that I feel strongly about. I've let this discourage and stop me in the past, and then I realized they don't have to be excited with me. It's not their vision, it's not their dream, so they don't have to be as sold on it as I am. They have their own life to worry about, and their path isn't my path. So making my goals dependent on their enthusiasm makes no sense at all. There's a difference in asking for feedback when it's appropriate, but even then it's still up to you to filter those comments to see what is in line with your goal and your vision. Also, when you do decide to share your vision, pick your audience. Share it with people who you know will get it and who will understand your reasons. For example, if your granny has never heard of TikTok, she's not going to understand why the hell you're spending so much time filming yourself doing weird dances. Or your parents who have been very successful and feel very safe in climbing the corporate ladder won't understand how you can be so foolish to take the risk to try and start your own business. Don't condemn them for not getting it. They're probably just trying to protect you. Rather find the right community to share with at selected times. The third principle of self-leadership is being completely honest with yourself. This isn't very nice and comfortable in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes so empowering and honestly oddly liberating. You can only truly lead yourself when you are willing to look at yourself in brutal honesty. You have to be willing to ask yourself, where am I not taking responsibility? What do I need to change? Where am I giving my power away? What difficult things am I avoiding, and what lessons do I need to learn? The more you get comfortable with being brutally honest with yourself, the more space you are creating to empower yourself and to grow. Please don't use this self-honesty as evidence of you being a wreck or as a way to shame yourself. You're not helping anyone by doing that. A self-leader always uses information and realizations for improvement and never to break themselves down. The fourth principle is be your own inspiration. Become excited and inspired by your own growth and progress, and use that as both fuel to keep going and also as a reason to not stop and lose what you've already acquired. If you've lost 5 kgs already, let that inspire you to lose 5 more, and also not to slip up and lose the progress that you've made. If you go into the gym and you see that first muscle pop, use that as inspiration to go back tomorrow so that you don't lose that, and also to gain more. Look at your savings account and how nicely it has progressed, and think about the discipline it took you to get so far. So don't let an impulse buy make you lose all of that progress, and rather take your focus to where you will be in a year's time if you keep up that trend. Don't look around too much. Often when we see others who are very far ahead of us, it becomes very discouraging. So only look at others if it inspires you. Otherwise, focus on your path, focus on the growth that you've made already, no matter how small it is, and remember, over time, those small successes will compound into great success. And last but definitely not least, know yourself. This ties in with being honest with yourself, but it requires you to be a bit more analytical toward your behavior, your processes, and your belief systems. So know your patterns and consciously break them. Know at what point you usually struggle and have a plan in place when that happens. For example, having a clear reminder of why you started in the first place, or having certain tools in place that when you reach certain stages of demotivation, you can just grab them to help you keep going. You can check out this video on the topic of how to stay motivated. Know how you operate best and set yourself up for success. So I found in different times of the day, I'm best equipped to do different tasks. So pay attention to that. And if you have to be creative and you know you're very creative in the morning, then schedule your time accordingly. Don't make it hard for yourself. Know your process of learning and creating, and also within what time frame. Not everyone operates at the same pace. I know for me, when I get started on something new, it takes a bit longer. And then I hit a certain point where I get it, and then from that point I know I can build up quickly. I use that knowledge to set realistic targets, and also it allows me to not get despondent when I don't get there very quickly in the beginning, or when I have to put in extra time. Know how much you can effectively handle at once. I know people who can have many projects running at once and they thrive on it. I know for me it's not that way. I need to focus on one thing until it's established, and then I can tackle additional things. So this knowledge helps me to say no when new opportunities pop up if I know that I'm not established in the current one I'm busy with yet. And this prevents me from feeling overwhelmed and also prevents burnout. These are my top 5 principles that I found really help me, and I hope that they will help you to get more control and stay on track in your life as well. So here are the 5 principles of self-leadership again. First is self-accountability. Second is to believe in your vision even if those around you can't see the full picture. The third principle is being completely and brutally honest with yourself. The fourth is to be your own inspiration. And the last one is to know yourself. So these principles are not necessarily easy to implement, and each one in themselves can be quite a load. So I would recommend, as usual, to start with the easiest one first, implement them, and then go to the rest. For example, knowing yourself can be quite difficult and it takes time. So just get your mindset in that direction and start to gather data. In the meantime, you can easily start with principle 2, protecting your vision, or principle 1, where you can look at structuring your life and committing only to things that you know you are most likely to stick to. Over time, these become a way of life, and they will just take you from strength to strength. So this is me for today. If you would like to see my mishaps, stay tuned for the bloopers. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And if you have any thoughts or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, remember to live an empowered life. We're in close proximity. Oh, guys. Yeah. Are in close proximity. Sensei you need to, or that you can come to. And you know, in these moments I just keep talking because I don't really know what my point is. And that's how shit ends up in the blooper section. As much as possible, as what? Huh? Fist! My fist! My fist. My first. So difficult. First. First. No? No? No. No. Folding. Want to hear a joke? I'll just record quickly. You can only truly leave. They're probably just trying to of self. Wow. The third. The third principle. I know people who have can taps while recording, then be sure to stay tuned for the. It's always funny if I make a blooper while announcing the bloopers. Is that like 2 negatives becoming a positive? No, it's just sad.